Caitlin Clark tries again. This time
It took 4 games, 4 long games of watching from the bench at tip-off, while one question kept growing louder with every passing minute. Why isn't she starting? Then, finally, the moment arrived. Head coach made the decision everyone had been waiting for, and Caitlin Clark was named in the starting lineup for Team USA. And what happened next? Exactly what anyone paying attention already knew would happen. From the opening possession, Clark took control. The pace changed. The energy shifted. Every play ran with purpose, confidence, and precision. It wasn't just good, it was undeniable. She didn't just start the game. She made a statement. And now, the conversation has completely flipped. So here's the big question. Now that Caitlin Clark has finally gotten her first start and delivered in a big way, does she lock in that starting spot for the Spain game and beyond?
Caitlin Clark tries again. This time
Let's talk about what just happened, because this moment has been building for a while. After 3 straight games coming off the bench, after 3 games where fans and analysts kept asking the same question louder each time, after watching a player who leads the entire team in points, assists, and plus-minus still being introduced as a reserve, Caitlin Clark finally got the starting nod against New Zealand. And what did she do with that opportunity? Exactly what everyone expected. She stepped onto the court and immediately proved why the conversation had been impossible to ignore. Confident, composed, and in complete control, she delivered when it mattered most. This wasn't just a lineup change.
This court. Now we have arrived at a special moment. Here is the team score of the game. This player
Team USA didn't just beat New Zealand, they dominated them 101-46, a massive 55-point blowout. In fact, the only more lopsided game in the entire FIBA Women's World Cup qualifying tournament was the 64-point demolition of Senegal. That's the level of control we're talking about. And right at the center of it all was Caitlin Clark. She finished with 14 points on efficient shooting, added 6 assists, grabbed 2 steals, and honestly, the game was decided long before the final buzzer. Now, let's be clear, New Zealand isn't considered a global powerhouse. That's not the debate. The real question was always deeper than that. How does the offense flow? Does the ball move? Does the system actually look smooth and dangerous? And most importantly, is it exciting to watch? Sunday answered all of it. Yes, across the board. From the very first possession, the difference was obvious. Compared to the earlier games against Puerto Rico and Italy, which often felt slow, choppy, and disconnected, this was a completely different version of Team USA. The tempo was faster. The ball movement was crisp. Shooters were getting clean, in-rhythm looks. Everything just clicked. It finally looked like what Team USA is supposed to look like when the right players are in the right roles, executing the right system. And at the center of that transformation, Caitlin Clark, calm, composed, and orchestrating everything. Caitlin Clark wasn't just reacting, she was anticipating. There were moments in this game where she read the defense before the play even developed, making split-second decisions that kept every teammate engaged and ready. A quick pass inside when the defense collapsed. A perfect kick out to Paige Buchers when help rotated. These are the kinds of plays that don't always dominate the box score, but they completely transform how a team functions. And then there was the shooting. At one point, Team USA hit 13 of their first 16 three-point attempts. That's not just efficient, that's overwhelming. Against any defense, that level of accuracy breaks structure. Against a team like New Zealand, it became a masterclass in spacing and execution. But here's the key question. Who was creating those wide-open looks? The answer is simple: Clark. From the start, she controlled everything. Pushing in transition, reading defensive rotations before they could settle, finding shooters before help even arrived. That kind of playmaking doesn't happen by accident. It's orchestration. Even her deep 3 early in the game did more than add points. It shifted the entire defense. Shots like that force opponents to guard areas of the court most players can't even threaten. And once a defense is stretched that far, mistakes are inevitable. There was even a brief moment that revealed her mindset. After a whistle went against her, one she clearly disagreed with, her reaction showed intensity, focus, and competitiveness. That wasn't frustration from comfort. That was a player locked in on every possession. Now let's talk numbers, because they're impossible to ignore. Through 4 games, Clark leads Team USA in points, 51, assists, 25, plus-minus, plus 104. She's the top scorer, the top playmaker, and the player making the biggest impact on the floor, all while coming off the bench in the first 3 games. Think about that.